The mark of the beast. You've heard of it, right? It's one of those ideas that conjures up all sorts of wild imagery. But what if most of what we think we know is, well, wrong? Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and demystify this ancient concept. And we'll be using the incredible research of biblical scholar Dr. Michael Heiser as our guide.
So, let's just dive right in. Is it an alien implant? A government microchip? A barcode you could accidentally get scanned at the grocery store? These are the kinds of questions that fuel so much speculation. But to find a real answer, we have to start peeling back all those layers of modern myth.
So first up, let's talk about pop culture's beast. As you can see here, this version of the story has made its way absolutely everywhere, from heavy metal album covers to big Hollywood blockbusters.
This is where we get all those crazy ideas, a counterfeit virgin birth, some kind of supernatural hybrid creature. But as Dr. Heiser puts it so well, this is the stuff Hollywood does. It's fantastic for movies for sure, but it has almost nothing to do with what the original texts were actually describing. So, what were they talking about?
Okay, that brings us to our second section, the real Antichrist template. Here, we're going to step beyond the science fiction and get into the actual historical context of all this.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. On one side, you have pop culture, giving us aliens and hybrid beings. But the original biblical template, it points to something much more, grounded. A human ruler. Specifically, a non-Jewish or Gentile king who is an enemy right here on Earth. No aliens, no sci-fi.
In fact, the template for this figure isn't some villain from the distant future, it's a real person from history, Antiochus IV Epiphanes. He's described in the book of Daniel as a king who literally opposed the Jewish kingdom and desecrated their holy temple. He is the blueprint. So the beast figure is modeled on a very human, very political enemy, not some supernatural monster.
Okay, so we've established the beast is based on a human. So what about that infamous number? You know the one. That brings us to our third section, decoding 666, because as we're about to see, it's way more than just a number.
Dr. Heiser's research points to three main ways of understanding the mark. There's the physical theory, the symbolic theory, and what he calls the loyalty theory. Let's briefly unpack each one.
The physical theory is the one we all know, a literal stamp, a barcode, a chip. The symbolic theory, though, is pretty fascinating. Some early thinkers saw 666 as a reference to a magic square, a kind of code representing a power that was inferior to God. But it's this third one, the loyalty theory, that really gets to the core of the meaning.
This is all built on a really important biblical idea called name theology. See, in this way of thinking, to bear a name isn't just a label, it's a declaration of loyalty. It's about who you serve, who you belong to. And here's the crucial part. The text says the mark of the beast is also the name of the beast. It directly links a potential sign to an internal allegiance. The real question is, whose name are you bearing?
And that brings us right to our final section, the ultimate choice, and what this mark truly represents when you put it all together.
And here it is, the key takeaway, straight from the source. Dr. Heiser explains that no matter how the mark shows up, ultimately it is about I'm following the beast instead of Christ. It'll be their choice. The entire concept hinges on that conscious decision.
So let's just be crystal clear about this. The mark is a conscious decision. It's not something that can be forced on you, and it's not something you could take by mistake.
So what does this actually mean? It means you can't get the mark by accident, not from a vaccine, not from a credit card. It represents a deliberate transfer of your allegiance. In the end, the outward symbol, whether it's a chip or nothing at all, is secondary. What really matters is the inward choice.
And that's the real takeaway here. This ancient text wasn't a sci-fi prediction about microchips. It was a timeless warning about allegiance. And it leaves us with a pretty provocative question to think about. If the mark is really a symbol of ultimate loyalty, what does your life represent?